What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show. I like to say the home of epic conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner and 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I host the only online conversation in the world for fathers and dads that is sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. Yes, I'm located in Canada. I am in Toronto. So that's not just one of those funny things out there. Also, I am one of the other hats that I do wear is I am the chair of an organization called the Global Food and Drink Initiative. And its purpose as a multimedia not-for-profit is to showcase Blacks in and of the diaspora that are involved in food, wine, and travel. We're broadcasting live today on April 3rd. And one of the new conversations amongst all the different ones I host, and one of the ones I'm getting very passionate about, is this conversation, this journey called Dads Talking, where I have the honor and privilege to speak with dads, most of the time one-on-one and sometimes one in a group, about the journey of fatherhood. And I always like to have new friends on, and the gentleman we're having on today is a new friend that I've met through the Clubhouse platform. And I'll give you his background first, and I'm going to give a special introduction for him too. Malik K Murray is an all-rounded man. He is a humble man of faith, acute businessman, motivational, inspirational, wise, humorous, and witty, calming, spirited coach. Additionally, he shares a highly competitive and compassionate nature to see the world left in a better place than he found it. In his life, fatherhood is far the biggest success he passionately shares. He has had a big influence among the millennials who are stepping into fatherhood, imparting wisdom and gems to help them navigate this lifelong journey. Here is a quote from him. Becoming a father takes courage and consistency to show up for your children, no matter how many flaws they have. Going to welcome for the first time, and definitely not the last time, Malik K Murray. And before I let him share with you, I do a lot of these things, and I'm blessed to reach out to a lot of people. And the minority, and I'm not talking color here, the minority check in with me and continue to give me encouragement. Even though I haven't known this gentleman for a long time, he does that for me. And for that, I'm truly grateful, Malik. So I just wanted to start our conversation with that, saying thank you for your check-ins. Thanks for your continuous encouragement. It's things like that that keep me going, and it's appreciated and not taken for granted.
Oh, man, blessings to you, man. Blessings to you. I really do appreciate you. I love what you do, man. And I love the heart that you have for just people. It goes a long way, and we all need it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's enough about me today. Now back to Malik. Back to Malik. Malik, thank you so much. I know you are, as we like to say, I like to, you're on the left coast. So it's a little bit after 9 a.m. on a Saturday,
Yeah.
but Malik told me before we went live, he's been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I've been up since 6, so he got me beat by a little bit. Malik, as a new friend to the Dr. Vibe family, we just read a little bit about your bio, but can we go back to the who, what, where you grew up, a little bit about the younger Malik days?
Oh, man, the younger Malik days? Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Yeah, I'm from Philadelphia.
Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh. And I say this now more and more. I've had the opportunity to do many of these online conversations. More people from Philadelphia that have been on this platform than any other city in the world.
Yeah, man. City of brotherly love and sisterly
Philly
affection.
strong, Philly tough.
Yeah, there it is.
One of my core contributors, Henri Morris, says, it's time to knuckle up and buckle up if you're from Philly. So, so sorry to interrupt that, but I couldn't let that by because the Philly contingent would give me in a lot of trouble if I don't hail up Philly. So back up to you, my brother.
Yeah, big up Philly, big up Philly. I'm from Philly, a little place called Logan, which is literally in the heart of North Philadelphia. And yeah, I mean, I grew up My mom and my dad were in the household. They were married until my dad left this earth in 2015. So they imparted a lot of wisdom to my siblings and I. A few of the things that they taught us is to live your story, live in your creativity. They also taught us to just be a beacon of light to those that you come in contact with at all times, encourage people, and the most important thing I think that sticks with me, the legacy that I pass down to my children, is that you have power within you and you have to tap into that power. I've learned that at a young age, and growing up in Philly, growing up in Logan in North Philadelphia, or North Philly, as we say, you learn fast, you learn quick, how to survive, what your power is, and what type power you're going to exude. So I think, me growing up that way in the area I grew up, I was an athlete. I am an athlete still. Played basketball, played tennis, found martial arts at a young age, and loved and still love doing martial arts. And yeah, I mean, just being that beacon of light, to my friends in the community, being that beacon of light. Just growing up in my household, I'm a middle child, so it was always a challenge. But yeah, the younger me was always about how can I be the best version of myself? How can I be better than my older brother, better than my
Yeah.
dad? How can that competitive nature, how can I be the best male in the household? So for me, it was always about looking at the standards and the limitations that, the other people had, that I can surpass that and meet these high expectations where, I was just excelling at everything. And for me, that was the competitive edge. And one of the things that I'm learning as I get older is that that came with a cost, because it damaged relationships. Because it was just me like, hey, I'm just going to be the best at it. I don't care if you're not as good as I am. You need to step your game up. You need to find a way to come to where I am, so we can be on the same playing field, and so we can be in the same, in that same space. And if not, forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't hang. And as I get a little bit wiser, I started to understand that that's a toxic thought process. And I learned it. I'm not gonna say I learned it in sports, but sports feeds off of that. Being just playing sports and at high levels, and competing with martial arts at high levels, it gives you this desire and competitive nature to just kill or be killed.
Hmm.
And it's a thing, it's a nature, that a lot of people possess. And that the younger me, it was hunt. Let's go hunt, seek, kill, and destroy, as quickly as possible to get what I wanted. And that's what I learned growing up in Philly. And some of my friends, we all have our own paths. Some of them chose different paths, and for me, my father was like the dad to all of my counterparts. All of the peers, all of the young men who never had a father, the fatherless, young men in the neighborhood. My dad was their dad. Every Sunday we played basketball faithfully for over 2 decades, 2.5 decades. So we would show up whenever they would have issues in their relationships, issues at home, issues in finding a job, issues in maintaining a job, issues in growing to the next level. My dad would give them the wisdom that they needed and partake in the encouragement that they needed and the tools to actually navigate those situations, to make them become better men and fish, right? Like the parable, teach a man how to fish and don't give him fish. So my father was that, he was that being in the community where he did that naturally. It just was a gift that he had, and a lot of young men, and a lot of the young men thanked him for that, and I feel like I've taken on that legacy naturally, and being that beacon of light, and giving wisdom, and giving, just as much as my experience that I can give to those who seek it, because everybody doesn't want it, right? Everybody thinks everybody doesn't want it. So what I've learned, is to, as I become more wise, is to not force feed anyone food, right? And just allow them to come into whenever they desire it and seek it, have it there for them, but with that, I've learned to become a better listener as opposed to just going out and speaking. And it was all in my childhood growing up. I listened, I watched, my parents interact. I watched, my brother went to school with, I'm gonna just big up my family. My brother went to school
Sure.
to a creative performing arts school, and he went to school. I grew up around, a lot of, people who are in the industry and that are famous right now. I grew up around people who have mastered their art, and they've made a living out of it, and the world knows them. So I've been around talented people and creative people, and my whole life. I have athletes, successful athletes. I've been around that my whole life. So for me, it was like, how do I just observe? How do I be a fly on the wall to see who they are, to see how they became masters at what they do, but more importantly, to see why they love what they do and how that gifts, really does illuminate themselves and everyone around them. How does that gift inside of them, how do they activate that? Like asking myself these deep questions. And, the younger me, when I, started to pay more attention to how things operated,
Mm-hmm.
I started to grow just a lot, a lot more. I guess not a lot more, but just I guess more wiser, and I started to observe things a little differently than a lot of my counterparts and a lot of other people observe things. Yeah, and since we're talking about childhood, like one of the things that my why, and I'm gonna be vulnerable because this is part of my personal growth. So growing up in Philly, right? And when you hear hard knocks and you hear all of these things, and there's something significant behind that. And I'm pretty sure that people, I live in Los Angeles now. People can say that from South Central and Compton. They could say it in Watts, the Jungle, wherever you are, Inglewood, some parts of Inglewood. Growing up in these specific areas, right? There's something that that you get when you come out of these areas that can help you and hinder you depending on how you internalize it. So for me, my whole high school from freshman to senior year, every summer, one of my friends was killed. Right, one of my friends was murdered. Every summer break, and I would see that and I witnessed that. And for me, it was like, yo, there has to be more. There has to be more than me seeing, my friends that were my age, between the ages of like 16 and 20. There has to be more than me seeing them, not physically seeing them lose their life, but me seeing them one day and then no longer seeing them the next day. So for me, there was a journey that when I started to experience this, mentally, the mental health that the effect that it had on me, I took it and I really went on this journey of inner peace. I went on this journey of self-love, and I went on this journey of exploring how can I be a beacon of light to those who really need it, right? How can I deposit something inside of someone? Well, we already have it in us, right? It's just a matter of, do we understand what it takes to activate that? So for me, growing up in Logan and experiencing this, right, and it being a normal thing, it's normalized, right? And me seeing this put me on this journey of like, yo, there has to be more, and I'm going to contribute to the light in everyone. I'm gonna find that light in everyone. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. And not only find it, but I'm going to encourage people to tap into their light. I'm going to encourage people to understand that they have a gift within inside of themselves and they have a purpose, that, whoever you believe in, you are here for a reason. You are here to do something specific in this specific time that you are living on this earth. See, we all have our gifts, right? And I realized that seeing that all these talented young Black men lose their lives, to whatever to the streets, however you want to look at it. But being in high school and witnessing this just gave me something internally to strive for. It gave me a why to be like, you know what? there's more out there that we all need to experience. And I want to be a part of experience of showing people that you can choose something different. You can choose something more. You have more creativity. You have more of a gift inside of you. Whatever it is, however it is. Let's figure out how to unlock it. And I went on a journey of taking the time to spend with people that I don't even strangers I don't even know. And really like seeing them like with a broken wing and kind of being that vessel to help them, build that wing up and understand, like, like my dad used to do. I used to teach them how to fish, and that's been my childhood, journey in a snapshot.
Wonderful. Like to say shout out to one of the great supporters of the Dr. Vibe show, Divine Right, chiming in from the DC, Virginia area. Always good to have you here. Malik, before we go any further, want to say condolences on behalf of the Dr. Vibe family to the loss of your father. Condolences
Appreciate
on that. Um, and I just want to stay with your parents for a moment. What has your mom instilled in you? What has your father instilled in you? And what have they, when they were a couple, what did they instill in you? Because I think those are three distinct things that I'd like to hear you share about.
Yeah, my mom, she instilled, um, you know, compassion. She instilled strength and inner strength that I had that or have, that she brought out of me, and my mom is on ride or die. So yeah, she instilled these things. Real talk. You'll hear my East Coast come out from time to
Yeah,
time.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
So yeah, so she instilled like, she instilled go have some fun. You know what I mean? Like she instilled be focused, but smile a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like she instilled that. Where my father, he instilled work ethic. My mom instilled that as well too, but my father, to be distinct, he instilled, manhood, what manhood looks like. In his generation, like, how you provide for your family, how you show up, even though that you as an individual are flawed, right? Like how you show up for your family, how you're present for your family, even with your own mess, how you still come there every day. And their marriage, their union, I'll say, their partnership instilled that it's possible to to be in love, but also despise one another, but also get back, like love each other, and also stick together, and also like, it's like art that you take all of these colors and you throw it on a wall, right? And then when it's done, it's this abstract, beautiful piece. So they've instilled this magnetic energy and a kinetic energy that two human beings can share if they just commit to it, commit to their own personal happiness, but also the happiness of the union, and they instilled those things. And just me seeing the beauty in it when there in my community, there was only really three married parents and 3 to 5 in the whole community that I grew up with, and so to know that my parents stuck it out and they found ways to just love each other, love on each other, even through the difficult times, it just shows me that it's possible.
Nice. When you were growing up as a young Malik, outside of your father, did you have any other mentors?
Yeah, I did. I actually did. Yeah, I was a part of this thing called the Police Athletic League, and it's called PAL Center. And Kilgore was a retired police officer that, he just was like 6 foot. He's 6'7". His sons
Wow.
played basketball, and no one could, what I mean? Like if you come in there in the gym, you need to make sure your pants are up. You need to make sure your shirt is tucked. You need to make sure that you're not using any 4-letter words except love. You know what I mean? Like you need to use this is, and his demeanor taught that. So that he was a mentor to all of us, growing up, and and you stood up a little bit straight when you were around him, and he was a great mentor to a lot of us, outside of my dad, and yeah, I would say I would definitely contribute that to Mr. Kilgore.
Young Malik, did he have any dreams of what he wanted to be when he grew up?
Oh man, dude. Look, man, I was gonna take Michael Jordan's job. You know, I was like, look, Jordan, you need to step aside. This is pre-Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, look, I know you do your thing, but here I come, you know. So for me, it was like it was basketball, right?
Yeah.
Um, basketball was my thing, you know. But I really had a secret dream, man, and it was to become an author and to be a writer, you know. But those things weren't cool in the hood, you know. Either you played basketball or you did music or some form of entertainment, not like a writer. Like you're gonna be a what? You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, what are you gonna write? You know, like, huh? So you know, so I secretly honed writing my thoughts, secretly honed just expressing myself when I was going through pain in journals, you know, that I still have to this day. I have over probably 40 journals that I've written in, and I have
Wow.
short stories and, like just what I've seen growing up in Logan, what I've seen, you know, growing up in Philly. You know, I've just secretly, I've been a writer, you know, and an author, you know, so that's a dream that has always been since I was published when in the fifth grade. I wrote a piece about
What?
true friendship. Yeah. I was published in the Daily News, and then it also, when I
Oh,
transitioned to sixth grade,
congratulations.
thank you. When I transitioned to sixth grade, I was published in a yearbook as well with this same poem. And, you know, and I just hit it. Like I just put it under the rug, like, let this rug up, sweep, 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 sweep. Let's go play some basketball. You know, so yeah.
Wow. Do you still have those poems?
I do. They're back in Philly, which I'll
Oh,
be getting them this year. I'm gonna get like
please do.
I have a whole, like, they're all back home, so I'm definitely going to get those.
Wow. Well, you've got to support her in divine rights. Love your quote, how you show up, even if you're flawed. And then she says, yes, I played for PLA basketball through Boys and Girls Club in
Yep.
Jamaica, Queens, all through high
Jamaica
school.
Queen. Yep. 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 PLA Pal. Like, yeah, we traveled, like, you know, we did a lot with Pal. Pal was like, man, Pal was great because we had, they introduced me to baseball. And then the first time that ball came towards me, like 75 miles per hour, I was like, nah, you're not going to mess up this. So we need to change sports, you know, quickly, you know. We can't, that's not going down. So then I started playing tennis, and I actually
Wow.
got really good. I was ranked number 2 in the city, and then we were going to states, but I had to commit, and the commitment was either you give up basketball and you go to the national, is a NJTL, forgot what it is, but the National Junior Tennis League Association, and I would have to go in and play in Arthur Ashe Stadium in Philly for the winter, but I would have to skip my basketball season. And my logic, just so you know where my mind was as like a 16-year-old, my logic was like, well, how many girls come to the tennis matches, right? Like that was my logic. Okay, no girls come to the tennis matches, so okay, I'm clearly playing basketball. So I never had wise counsel when it came down to, look, you should have played tennis. Okay,
That's hilarious. Oh my
true
goodness.
story.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good. And Divine Right is saying here, Pal kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, I agree. That's
Excellent.
real. Yeah.
Um, with yourself as you're going into young manhood, um, share some of that journey. You know, what were you doing professionally, educational wise, and how was that time of your journey?
Yeah. Stepping into manhood, so I've always loved music, and I've been into music like my whole life, since I was 15. So, before I went into university, you know, I was in a singing group, and we were like doing touring and stuff like that, which was amazing, you know, but it wasn't anything significant. So my mindset shifted, and I had a responsibility. Like, and this is the thing about family, man. Like, when you have a family, your agenda changes, right? So my mom said to me, she said, listen, you just graduated high school, and I understand that you're in this group and you guys are touring and all that's all fine and dandy, right? But your sister has to be at the bus stop at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. So I don't care what you do, right? You need to be home at 7 a.m. to make sure you walk your little sister to the bus stop. And then by me like staying out and coming back and being tired and like figuring out life, I said, you know what, this is a responsibility. So I actually put that on the back burner and I said, you know what, let me take my life more seriously. One of the things that a lot of people don't notice about me, except my family and those who are close, is that when I was 7 years old, I I used to like put electronics together. So I used to put all of these speakers and all of this stuff together, and I was fascinated with electricity. So so I literally I said, you know what, let me try this out just to see what happens, right? So I had a metal I'm sorry, this is hilarious. I had a metal wire hanger, and then I put it inside of the socket, and it went poof, and it literally
Oh,
popped, and I was like, and I had a little jolt, right? And I was shook, and I scratched my head like, all right, that felt different. Let's try it again. And I did it again. So my mom came in there and she lost it. What are you doing? And she was like, you're going to school for electricity. You're going to learn everything about electrical work that you possibly can. So she sent me to a high school that was a trade school that I learned all about electronics, electricity, and stuff like that, which further led me into getting into the electricians union, where I became a certified journeyman and master electrician over the past 7 to 10 years. So I am
wow.
a certified, I am a master electrician, right? And that's what I do. I do commercial electrical work and also residential electrical work. And I'm currently studying to get another certification. So yeah, so I'm like a nerd when it comes down to like, amperage and voltage
Yeah,
and Ohm's
yeah.
law and just like, all of that stuff. So yeah, so I literally changed focus to focus on how do I learn more about becoming an electrician and all these things that I've always, thought was interesting. And
Mhm.
how can I take a piece of conduit, two pieces of conduit, box, and and a switch and a panel, and how can I grab some wire and pull that wire all the way through and make sure it's the right size wire, and then put it on a circuit breaker and make electricity? How do I do that? So for me, that's how things switched for me.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So let's transition a bit. Becoming a father for the first time.
Yeah.
Share us that time of your journey.
Um, it was, man, it was frightening. It was frightening. Let's start from, yeah, it was frightening. I didn't know if I was going to be a good dad. I always had my older brother and my father, were amazing, are more amazing dad fathers. But for me, it was like, yo, everyone expected me to be a dad a long time ago. And it was like, I waited, and I was like, am I going to be good at this? Like on a serious note, like, can I do this? What qualifies me to take care of another human being? I can't even take care of myself, right? Like, what qualifies me to take care of another human being? And this is where my faith kicked in. This is where like the natural instinct of just parenting and being a responsible human being, right? And just having faith that if I don't know it, I'm gonna figure it out. And I know
Mhm.
that I'm a man of faith, so I know God, He got me. I know that, and Scripture says, there is no fear in perfect love. So if the Lord is bringing me this perfect love, this human being, then I don't have to fear because everything I need will be there. The people that I need will be there. Seeking you shall find, knocking you will answer. Like, things will be there as long as I step into it wholeheartedly and not be distracted by all of the other things that I can do, not be
Right.
distracted by my selfishness. So it was very, it was just, it was a I was scared. And then the moment that my daughter Addison was born, and I was there to witness it, all of those fears just fell. Everything,
Mm.
it was like my shoulders became a little bit, they went back a little bit, and my daughter just came in next to me. It's so funny, we talk about it. She just walks in. Hi, baby. Come here. Yeah, and soon as she was born,
Yeah.
you're like you have this instinct to just be perfect. Look at her. Say hi.
Oh, so
Say hi,
cute.
Dr. Vibe.
Hi, Leah.
This is Addison.
Oh, sorry, Addison. Sorry,
Yeah,
Addison.
say hi, Addison. I mean, hi, Addison. Hi, Dr. Vibe. Say hello. Just say hi, Dr. Vibe family.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Say I'm fine.
There you go, Addison.
All right, go ahead. Go get some food. Okay, Daddy's going to finish this. Okay. Sorry about that.
No
So
problem. It's part of what we do, man. It's family.
yeah, so once she was born, everything just changed for me, man. You know,
Mm.
everything just changed. Like the fears were gone, and everything just stopped. You know, so I feel like that stepping into that fatherhood in that moment was just, man, it was amazing. It really was. Yeah.
Um, so you said everything changed. Describe how it changed for you. How did your life change? And also, did you did you have any challenges, or how would I want to put this? There unfortunately there's stereotypes about the black father.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did any of those weigh on you before you had your first child?
Negative. Never.
Good.
I don't fall victim to stereotypes
Good.
because I don't believe in stereotypes. I mean, look, they are what they are if you believe in them. Whatever you
Mm.
give energy to is real, right? So at the end of the day, I wasn't worried about what people saying about any stereotypes about, black men. I've been around amazing black fathers my whole life. I've been around, beautiful marriages, beautiful partnerships my whole life. So for me, that didn't affect me at all. What it was for me was, am I good enough?
Mm.
Am I as a human being worthy enough to care for this human being? Am I good enough? Like I know, like I'm a confident individual, right? So I know that I'm good. Like I know at the end of the day, no matter where I am, I'm fine. But I'm responsible for another human being, right? I know I'm going to protect her. And yeah, I know that. But am I good enough? Like, am I really good enough?
You're being honest here. You're being, because
It's
I'm
the truth.
that's a feeling. I'm sure that's a feeling many men before they become fathers have that thought, and some of them still have that thought.
Yep. Yep. So yeah. So once I got the grace and once I said, you know what, God, you got me. I can't do it without you because if I do it without you, I'll fail. Here's the thing. What changed for me? I could no longer be selfish. That's
Oh,
what
talk
changed for
about
me.
that. Talk about
Like
that. Talk about that.
we're about to go in right now. I couldn't
Yep.
be selfish. Okay. Like there's so many people who are selfish, and this isn't excluded to just fathers, right? There's mothers. When you're selfish, it doesn't matter what gender, race, religion, creed. It doesn't matter. A selfish human being is a selfish human being. And for me, I could no longer be selfish. And my battle and struggle is, how do I get rid of being selfish and become a servant and serve my family? How do I serve my daughter? How do I serve my now son that's a year old? How do I serve my wife? Right? How do I no longer stay selfish and go do what I want to do and put them in front of me? So for me, that was the biggest sacrifice coming from a person who is, who was, this macho man. I'm in a
Mhm.
fraternity, right? Like, so all I knew is to be, look, it's about you. Yeah, and that's it. It's no longer about me. And I believe that, and what I try to help people, millennials and young dads and fathers is understand, look, it's not about you anymore. It's not. Like if you have a skill and you're trying to pursue something that is a dream and a passion, well, you have to still provide for your family, however that means for you. You can't necessarily be selfish with your time. You have to find a balance to be there for your children, even if you're no longer with the mother. You know, even if you're not with the partner anymore, you still have to be there because that's your child.
Mm. Was that process of change difficult for you?
Oh, of course it was, because, and I still fight it to this day. You know, I'm still like, I need to go work out, you know, and that's why when you say at 4 a.m., that's why I wake up early, because they're still asleep until 6 or whatever. So I get my time to get it in, meditate, right? Work out, you know, that's why I work out earlier and I do my things earlier in the day, just so I can still have my me time. That's a
Right.
part of just my growth. So absolutely, and it's still challenging, you know, like it's still challenging.
Divine Right has a question. What fraternity are you in, Malik?
Uh, I am in the best fraternity in the land. It is called Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Root to all the bros. Uh, yeah, I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh gosh.
Excellent question. That was an excellent question. That
Yes,
is just an excellent
because
question.
I like that. Even if you're not with the other parent, you still have to be a parent to that child. Say that again.
That's
What?
the fact. You still have to be a parent to that child. And one of the things that, you know, co-parenting, and one of the things that I'm learning, because I have a lot of friends, you know, who are in this situation, and some of them have figured out their chemistry, right? They figured out how to exist with each other, even know that they've moved on. They figured out how do we have a healthy relationship for our children? Because it's not about you, and that's the selfish part. When you realize and you come to this paradigm shift that it's no longer about you, now you can have a healthy, you can maintain a healthy partnership, friendship, or whatever, so you can take care of give your children the best parenting that they deserve.
But I got some good news for you. Look at this.
Yeah, bro. Ah. Pleasure meeting you. My wife's a Delta. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah. My wife's a Delta. Yeah.
um, this is. I love these conversations because I love when people meet that have things in common. It's interesting. And I'm gonna ask you, and I've had a few conversations in this series, and there's a gentleman named Robin Seeger who's in Bali. You may have seen him on Clubhouse. And I remember when I had him on, he said, when a child is born, not only is the child is born, but the mother and father are born.
Ooh, that's powerful. No, that's powerful, man. You don't like that just hit the core. You see my back set up a little bit straighter because that just hit the pit of my soul. That is the truth. And they're either born or they die. It's one or
Yes.
the other. They are born or they die, because a lot of people, they don't realize the blessing in it, and they try to hold on to their old self, and you can't hold on to your old ways. You cannot hold on to that when you bring a child into this earth. You have to change and you have to grow, and you have to, for your own survival, you know.
Yes. Second childbirth. How is it different, and how was the after different than the first time? Because the first time you said you had to become less selfish.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how how did you change, if anything, after the second birth?
I mean, it's my son now, so it's a little bit. My voice got a little bit deeper. If you can just tell from that tone, that my voice just got a little bit. The register became a little bit lower. I'm sorry. I love having fun, man. So
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm having a good time too. So let's chop it up, man. That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
man. I mean, it's like, man, I just, it changed just because, yeah, it's now I have a son. Now it's something new. It's a whole new raise. Like my child is one. My son his name is Aiden. He's 1 years old, right? This kid climbs on everything. When I say everything, my gosh, this kid climbs on everything. And I'm like, yo, he's only one. Imagine when he turns 2. Like, he's going to be climbing. So the energy, if you think I have a lot of energy, like my 1-year-old is first of all, my 3-year-old is amazing. Like, her energy is just insane. But when it comes down to him, man, his energy he's climbing on everything. So I think how I changed is that, I have a son now, so I have ways that I want to impart into him, that I've learned, and what my dad taught me. And I look at how my dad, helped me become the man that I am, and to actually impart that into my son, it's just, yeah, man, it's like, it's a great thing.
Good stuff. We're gonna do a little bit of a pit stop on the fatherhood bit for a second, but I want you to
Awesome.
want you to talk and share about your book, Unlocking Your
Oh, okay.
Gifts and Finding Your Purpose in Life. Tell us about that. What's the backstory on that?
Man, the backstory is, I've always, I've been a closeted author, like I said before. And during the pandemic, I was forced to stay home and spend time with the family, and what I've noticed is that my gifts were becoming dormant, the gift of writing, where I stopped writing, and I started making money, and I started helping people as, in the entertainment industry, and I started doing all of these things, but I neglected the thing that God put me on this earth to do, which is encourage people. So the book was born through this time of the pandemic, and what I've realized is that we all have gifts inside of us. And a lot of times we just don't know how to access them or unlock them. And when I began to write, it was, once again, it was the same feeling of when my daughter was born, of this weight just falling off of my shoulders. And it was like, man, wow, this is a gift and we have purpose. And I lost track of that. So when I started
Mm,
to write again, and I've never actually finished anything when it comes down to writing in a book, right? So I
you're
said,
kidding.
I've never finished anything. I've never finished, and I've never published except that one poem. And
Oh my goodness.
I
You got to
said,
get that poem, man. Even more important to that poem.
so I said, this I'm going to finish, and this I am going to release, and this I am going to start a movement with, because I believe that there are a lot of people who don't believe in themselves, and during this pandemic, they're still either, they're reflecting, but they still don't believe in their gift, and don't believe that they have a purpose. And we all have a purpose. Like, we all have something inside of us that we were meant to do at this particular time. Look, life is gonna knock you down. It's gonna beat you up. It's gonna do all these things. You're gonna go through jobs, careers, but your gift stays with you throughout your whole life. And for me to refine this gift, and for me to, reconnect to the gift, it just brought this new birth to me. So when I finished it, I said, man, this is amazing. I really need to give this to the world. And it's just an offering to people who actually don't believe in themselves anymore, and don't believe that that gift that they had when they were 10 years old or 15 years old or even 25, whatever it is that they came upon, that doesn't exist in them when it really does.
How long did it take you to write the book?
It took me my whole life, but it literally took me to sit down and understand my writing style. See, I can't really sit down and just pen, right? Like, I have to talk into my phone and the notes portion and have it, transcribed. I have to sometimes in the middle of the night, it would just come to me and I would just get up and I would type on my keyboard, So this book came to me, I would say, um, to actually finish the manuscript, probably about a good 75 days to 90
Okay.
days. And then the whole process of the art and the graphics and all of that is another thing. But if you look at the photo, I'm holding my son.
Yes.
That's when he was, on club and on Clubhouse, that's my image, because
Yes.
this image is so powerful, and I think I've shared this with you before, because society looks at black men as we're not vulnerable, we don't have this side of us, and that's not true, right? That's just a stereotype that is really bogus, right? Because if you, that's why I put this image specifically there, right? Because my son he's a gift to the world and he's a gift to me, and I
Mhm.
want people to see that, look, we are vulnerable. I show, PDA to my family. You look on any of my social media, it's all about family, fatherhood, uplifting. It's all about all of these things.
Nice. Was there, let me ask, if the pandemic did not happen, would we be looking at this book today?
No, you wouldn't be looking at it
Wow.
today. You wouldn't, because in the pandemic, something was awakened inside of me, something unlocked, and I'm never like it was really rough being in this pandemic, and I'm gonna be a little bit, I'm gonna be just real, like it was rough, it was rough not knowing, um, just not knowing, like, what's gonna happen, like, just being cooped up in the house for months and months. I'm a creative person, so I play music, I write, I do all of these things, but I believe that God was speaking to me. He said, I need you to focus on one thing. Okay, I gave you all of these talents, but I need you to really hone in on this one thing and let me allow this one thing to unlock, to help other people. And then I'll
Mhm.
give you all of the other desires of your heart. So once I locked in on that, by all means, staying up, all night to write and throwing pages away, and and allowing myself to become the author. Once I got over that and committed to the process, the book was just, it wrote itself. So without the pandemic, I would have been saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna write that book. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be an author. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a #1 Amazon bestseller. I'm gonna be a New York Times bestseller one day. And then that one day would be, I turned 60, 70 years old, and then it's like it never happened. So I believe that the pandemic it just opened something and unlocked something for me. And now, like, I'm already 90 pages through my second book, right? And
What?
yeah,
Oh my
and
goodness.
so for me, I'm no longer going to abandon the gift that I've been, hiding for my whole life, so I'm no longer going to abandon it. And one of the things that that I'm learning now as an author is like, yeah, I want to make money, of course. Like, I want to make, sales of $30,000 a month for this book and do all of that. And but at the end of the day, it'll come. If that's what's meant for this book, it'll come. But more importantly, I hope that this book transforms lives, that it can unlock something inside of people, that they can believe in themselves and get them closer to their gift, closer to their purpose, so they can live the best version and be the best version of themselves moving forward.
How was it holding the first finished copy in your hands?
Oh, so this is the ebook. I just released
Okay.
it. No, no, no. Let me finish. I
Okay.
just released it January 26th, and it became Amazon bestseller within a week. So it's an Amazon
Congrats.
bestseller. And then I released the paperback. I got it on my board right here. This month, I released the paperback, and I also am going. I got to go to the studio because I'm doing an audio book as well. So I haven't even done
No.
full release and
Wow.
launch of the book, and I'll be doing that within the upcoming weeks, on
Nice.
the paperback, signed copies and stuff like that.
So Divine Right is saying congratulations on birthing your book. Also, amen to listening to the call from God. And she asks where you can buy the book. Well, if you go to Malik's website, right there, you can buy it there. So all that is there for everything. And I think I'm a firm believer when you're in right purpose, your gift will take you where your character will fail you.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to let Divine right know there's two ways to purchase the book. The first way is through Amazon, right? You can purchase it there, but that's just an ebook. If you purchase through the website, you will get an ebook copy, but I will also sign, once I release the hard copy, I'll sign it and I'll give you a hard copy as well. So that's the difference, and the distinct difference between the purchase points of both of them.
Wonderful. That is fantastic. How has the pandemic made you a better father?
I am more present. I am more confident. It's made me be more aware of the difference between my daughter and my son. It's made me be more aware, being more aware of their body language, of my body language. It's made me more compassionate. Um, it's just made me just more vulnerable, and just seizing the moment, carpe diem. Like this is, I have friends who have lost family members, and directly and indirectly, people have lost lives, and just understanding that we are only here for a certain amount of time, and we have to love on those who love on us, and it's important. It's really important that we continue to love on each other, right? And just being present, just being
Right.
present,
Good.
and it means a lot. It means a lot.
And Divine Right is saying, yes, I will purchase through your website. I want a hard copy. So
Absolutely.
there you get a nice little signs thing here. That is beautiful. So I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but I have some father questions. We've been
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
father track for a bit, but I have some questions. So in your journey so far as a father, are
Uh,
there anything is there any things you wish you have done differently while you've been a father?
that's a good question. Yeah, I do. I wish I would have continued to work out.
Good question. Okay. All right.
I wish I would
Good.
have continued to work out and find my balance earlier. When my daughter was, when she was first born. Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the things I wish I would have continued to do.
Do you think today's fathers have things harder than when you first became a father?
I think that today's fathering, there's too much. Let me. Okay, when you see me look up, that means I'm filtering.
I know that. I know that. I sense out
Uh,
even when you're on Clubhouse, so I'm seeing the physical of what I've heard. I sense through my hearing of you.
yeah. So I think that there are more distractions. I think there are more distractions for young fathers and fathers today. I think fatherhood has always been difficult, especially for people of color, Black fathers specifically. I think there are a lot more distractions with the internet, and with excuse me, people who claim to be experts that are not really experts. It's kind of like yeah. I'm gonna give an analogy. It's kind of like someone giving me fatherhood advice, and they're not fathers, like, but they mean well, but it doesn't necessarily translate well. So I think that the distractions can really hinder a lot of fathers, and can really lead them down a wrong direction. I'll give you an example without being too specific. There was someone that I met who was a father, and he never really he's never present at home, but he's very successful, right? He's very to the world. He's very successful, but he's not really present in his family. If you ask his child, what would you want your father to do more? And they will probably say to spend more time with me. And I think that
Oh,
that's one of the challenges that we get, because we as fathers, we're chasing these dreams, we're chasing all of these things, and the real thing we need to chase is just, we need to chase the giver. That's the first thing, God. But we need to be present for our family, right? That's the most important thing. I've learned being present for my family, all of the other things come, all of them come.
wonderful. Good stuff. Another question. What was one of the hardest moments you had being a father, and why was it hard?
Hmm. Um, Accepting that I'm not right all the time. Why? Because I'm always right.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness.
That's factual.
Oh, I believe that. I received that. Is there something that you wish you have experienced in life that you haven't experienced?
Hmm. These are Dr. Vibe. These are really good questions, man.
Hey, well, I've
Um,
done over 2,000 of these, so I got to come correct with you.
man. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Going on a personal retreat for a month, and just a meditation retreat for a month, just on a secluded island, no cell phones or anything, and just really tapping into just me.
Hmm.
That's something that I want to experience that I haven't experienced yet.
Okay. What are the three happiest moments in your life so far?
Mm. Um, Marrying my wife, who's my rock. Um, she's also she keeps me in check. um, the birth of both of my children.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. The birth of this book, man. I'm really excited about this journey. I'm not even gonna lie.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable, how did you meet your wife?
Okay, so that's perfect. That's a great question, right? Like, so this is my opportunity to tell my portion of what really happened, right? She can't defend
Okay.
herself, so she's probably looking and she might chime in or she might not. Hey, it's my story.
Well, that's why I asked the guys this so they can get their version out without being contested in real time.
I walked into a room at a university she attended, and I walked in there with my brother, and she looked at me and she just fell in love with me. And I mean, from that point, the rest is history. I mean, what more do you need?
I'm glad I'm living in Toronto and you're on the left coast because she would give me crap for asking why are you getting his version of this. Come on, why are you getting? Oh, you see, okay, hold on. You see, okay, watch. So you know what that means. She's gonna want to get her airtime now. So Alicia, if you want to come on by yourself, or if you want to bring this guy on with you and get the truth next time, I'm
I
more
gotta
than
check my
happy to
schedule.
do that.
I have to check my schedule. I don't know.
Oh my, I love that. I just like the way she said it. His version is not accurate. Like, tell right to the point. His like I'm telling, no, just straight to the point. Is not accurate. Oh my god. Okay, and now you see, now we cause drama because here you go. This. Oh wait, that story doesn't sound right, Malik. Don't do my sword like that. Oh my goodness, this is full trouble. And now just been enjoying the show. I don't know. Are you still
Yeah.
enjoying it after that story? That's my real question, right?
So you see my forehead start glistening. That means that I'm sweating and I feel the daggers coming. So,
Sweat boy, sweat, man. Sweat boy, sweat. I got your back, but that's been fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That you help a lot of Black men and fathers.
Yeah.
What are you seeing their challenges are?
Dr. Vibe, like, give me a second, man, because yeah, I get emotional about this, man, because
Take your time.
um, I've seen like, and, I'm not like, I think it's my allergies right now, so hold up. I've seen just so many brothers just get lost, and it really does affect me because I care, and sometimes to a detriment, and you know I just see them not believing in themselves, listening to what society tells them that they're not good enough or they're this one thing, and I just hate it, So I try to reach as many brothers as possible, right? And I try to because we got so much richness inside of us, man. and it's like I just want people to know, I want brothers to know, you can do this. Like you can do this. I don't care that you got fired from your last job. I don't care that, you messed up at your family. I don't like you make it right. You can do this. We have it inside of us to do it. And I think that the distractions of social media, the distractions of people of society saying that you're not good enough or you need all this, you need healing. Black men specifically are targeted. I think that put that down and focus on God and focus on the giver and focus on who you are and who you want to become. And I think once we do that, once anyone does that, I believe that they can really get to a place uh, of inner peace, a place of really affecting others and finding their power.
Love it. I know you've helped a lot of Black men or Black fathers. Would you be comfortable, and you don't have to give names, but would you be comfortable sharing a success story? Because I like to share that there is a
Yeah,
lot of success out there.
yeah, yeah. So, one of my friends, you know, I worked in the entertainment industry for a good 10 years and spent a lot of time. I have a lot of friends who are very successful and creative and, and talented and to the world. And one of my good friends is, he's a very successful person that many people see on TV, but his personal life was in shambles, and, and we talked, and, um, and he turned it around, and he turned it around by being present. He turned it around by putting the work in his marriage, putting the work into his family and being present in his family. Um, and that just warms my heart. And I don't have to get the accolades for it. I see joy when I look at him, look at his wife, like he looked at her for the first time when she walked down the aisle, right? When that's missing over decades or over years, and then I get a chance to look at him and say, "Yep, he's back in it," and she sees that, and the kids see that, and they see that love, and now that kinetic energy is transferred into the children, and now those children can grow up and have
Mm,
effective relationships however they choose, but they know what it feels like and they know what it looks like. Like Maya Angelou said that people don't remember what you say to them, they remember how you made them feel. And the moments that our children are looking at us, as husband and wife, partner, whatever, they're looking at our energy. They're looking at how we treat each other. They're feeling what we feel. They feel the tension or they feel the joy. So to be a part of turning that around to the moment that she walked down the aisle and he can see her with those
mm,
eyes again, just warms my heart.
wonderful. Yeah, I can relate. One of my mentors, he's a pastor,
Hmm.
and whenever he is doing a sermon, the way that his wife looks at him,
Yeah. Hmm.
it you just know the love is there, and it's vice versa. She doesn't get up on stage, but when he looks at her,
Yeah.
it's special. You don't see it a lot of times, couples looking at each other like that. So I can so much relate on what
Hmm.
you're saying,
Yeah.
so
And
much.
there's another young brother, that recently, that I've just worked with, that I'm working with right now. Young photographer. He's successful, and and we got to a place where I talked to him and he, kept telling me, I'm in Hollywood. So he's like, yeah, I want to do these specific things professionally. I said, okay, cool. What do you want to do personally? What do you want to be known for personally? I want to do this. And I said, what's one thing that that right now in this moment that would make you a better human being for yourself? And he was like, I want to spend more time with my daughter. And I was like, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're
Hmm.
getting somewhere. And now it's like, hey, okay, let's focus on becoming the best father that you could become because it trickles down into you becoming the best screenwriter, the best producer, the
Yes.
best
Yes.
creative. It all trickles down. So, but
Yes.
when you become that best father, people look at you like, man, he's an amazing father. Oh, by the way, did you know that he won an award for this? Like, this is
Yeah.
what he does professionally, but he's an amazing father, and I think that
Father.
that's key.
Yeah, I agree with you there because he could say, I'm a photographer and a father, but no, he's a father and then a photographer.
And that's what's missing in a lot of our brothers today is that they don't put this first. And if they put this first, they would see all of the other things, that they desire, that the heart desires will come. That's what I believe.
We'll end up on two quick things. You've already given a message. Well, here two quick last conversation pieces. Part one: what is your message for those who are not Black men and fathers to know about Black men and fathers?
Hmm. Mm. Um, I want them to know that I guess we're fathers. There's no color, there's no race to father. You know what I mean? Like, we're fathers. That's it.
Mhm.
We're fathers. And there's no separation, right?
Right.
There's no separation at all. We all have, blood going through our veins. We're fathers, and that's what that's it. Fatherhood is fatherhood. Like, no matter what race you are, you experience the same thing. And I've been on several platforms where there are so many different, diverse. There's just a lot of diversity, and some of my Caucasian friends would say the same exact thing as the brothers, as my Indian friends, as whoever, right? They all would say the same thing. Did you walk on that dinosaur last night at 3 a.m. in the morning when you went to the bathroom? Yeah, I stepped on that dinosaur too, and my foot is bleeding from it. Like, we all do this, like, it's all the same thing. Toys, we don't see them. You know what I mean? So that's what I would want to say.
Yeah, because you before that you gave a great message to the Black fathers about putting the fatherhood first. It was
Absolutely.
great. So, final conversation piece. How would you like to be remembered?
Um, I would like to be remembered as a son of greatness, a father of um, two amazing children, a an advocate, a person who is an advocate for making the world and leaving the world a better place. Um, yeah, man, that's a deep question. um, I just want people. I just want people to win, man. And
Mhm.
I want when people look at me, I want them to say, he changed my life from one conversation. He changed my life from one post. He changed my life just looking at his video, from reading his book. He really did give me tools to really live the life that I was supposed to live. And that's what I want to be known for. And he loves his family. I'm a family man to core, right? And I care about our community. I care about people. And one little fact that I'm leaving to the end is I'm a chaplain for law
Yes,
enforcement,
you are. Yes, you are.
and a lot of people don't know that. And it's a volunteer position, here in California. And I'm gonna share a quick story. So I
Go ahead.
recently was pulled
Take your
over.
time. Take your time.
I recently was pulled over um, by a white cop, young male, and and his partner, a white female cop. And they pulled me over, and they asked me about my tags, and I told them. And I was like, "Oh, okay, can I see your license and registration?" So I gave them my law enforcement ID, and I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, you're good." And I said, "No, come here, let me talk to you for a minute." I was like, how you doing? Like, how's your day going? He's like, oh, it's great. He's like, I said, yeah, I'm the chaplain for, the PD. And he was like, I know you. And I said, oh, really? Yeah, you pulled me over about a week ago and you prayed for me at a red light. And you don't know how bad I needed that.
Wow.
He said, you don't know how bad I needed that. And it brought me to tears. And I'll be seeing you guys. I'll be seeing y'all around. I'll be around more and you'll see me. And he's like, I really needed that. And he's like, thanks. And that just goes to show you, man, that we can be a change. We can change our communities by being invested in our communities. And sometimes we need to do things that are uncomfortable and it doesn't look like the public wants it to look. We need to do things that are a little bit outside of the box, and for me, being a part of that change, now that changed the trajectory of how that officer interacts with people in our community. And I think it's important that's a lesson, that's a learning lesson right there. It's important that we continue to be pillars in our community and find ways to strengthen our community. And this is just my way of doing it. And so that's what I want people to remember me by.
Don't need to add anything more than that. That's outstanding. Malik, thank you so much for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule, your own, your families, the communities. I knew that this was going to be an epic conversation, and it has been. And as I said before, we went live. You have a home here anytime you come back. No, I think you're going to be coming back with someone else to get a story straight.
I got to check my schedule.
Yes. So for those who want to get in contact with Malik, his website is here, malikkmurray.com. Also, you can find him on Instagram and Twitter at Malik K Murray. He's on Facebook as Malik K Murray Inspiration. And the title of the book, Unlocking Your Gifts and Finding Purpose in Life, is available Amazon, but go to the website, get it from the website, because you're going to get more value.
Absolutely.
For buying it from the website. I would like to thank, first of all, Alicia, the true storyteller. Alyssa. Sorry, that was my head, not my heart. I can get out of this. I don't know if you're going to get out of your story. That's a whole other conversation. But Alyssa, no worry. Much love. Also, Divine Right, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. She's saying, this was so great, powerful, inspiring. Thank you, Dr. Vibe and Frat.
Absolutely.
So that is good. So I'd like to thank everyone who watches live or on the replay or who's going to be listening to it on the replay. Malik, again, thank you so much for taking the time. And remember to give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Very important. I am Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations. Oh, Alyssa, thank you so much. Wonderful show. I'm glad I'm in your good books. I don't know if your husband's in your good books, but that's going to be another conversation. But I'll help him out if I need to, all right? That's all good. You can find me. The best place to find me is at my website, and my website is at drvibeshow.com. On Twitter, I'm at drvibeshow. There's me on Facebook, the drvibeshow. YouTube, it's the Dr. Vibe Show. If you want, you can. And email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. All these other things. Just get in contact. The website's the best. That is the best. So just want to let everyone go here the way I do it. Dr. Vibe 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, once a month, hosts the only online broadcast in the world for fathers and dads. It's sponsored by Dove Men Care and Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And then finally, not once a month, all the time now, I am the board chair for the Global Food and Drink Initiative. It is a organization, multimedia nonprofit that showcases Blacks in the diaspora that are involved in food, wine, and travel. This is my sign off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect, and remember to give yourselves grace. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. And one other thing, if you have a father that you feel should be on this platform doing a conversation with me, please reach out to me. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and walk good.